It's kind of like the telescope on the future, but a microscope on in terms of what we can do right now. So I love that combination of future possibilities and action today.
Joining me at the Speaker's Corner, powered by the New York Stock Exchange, is Frank Cooper III. He is the VP of Marketing at Visa. Frank, fantastic to have you here. Thank you for joining me today.
Great to be here.
Thank you. Now, Frank, Visa has been a trusted brand for decades. So, how do you balance that legacy with the push into new digital first spaces?
So, yeah, and whenever you hear about a company that's been around for 20, 30, in our case, 60 plus years, you often think about, well, that's a legacy brand. What's happened? At the core, though, of Visa, and this has been true from the very beginning. In 1958, when D. Hawk, first said, this plastic piece of a card is an access device to anything of value, and that this access device will change over time. That's in our DNA of constantly being on the leading edge of giving more and more people access to value exchange and removing friction so that it becomes easier for them to do that. First, it starts off with a universal credit card, but then you have stronger kind of risk management, you have cybersecurity, and until you are here today where we are, where you have AI agents running around making purchases on people's behalf. But for us, it's the same thing. Increase access, remove friction, and then make sure that there's a secure, reliable, trusted network that actually allows all that to happen. And so we're always on the leading edge because that's the only way that we believe that we can thrive in this particular world.
So, now tell me, what role is AI playing in Visa's marketing right now? And how do you see it shaping the way you connect with your customers?
It's interesting, and you and I were talking about this before. When people hear AI, they talk about all sorts of things. Cybersecurity, it's great. They talk about manufacturing efficiency, it's fantastic. But of all the managerial functions, I believe that marketing is the one that will be the most challenged and that has the greatest opportunity. You look across the full spectrum of marketing, because marketing's goal is simple. Marketing's goal is to drive profitable growth for the firm by changing people's perceptions and behaviors. And so, insights and research, AI is going to play a really significant role in that. And it's not just like go out and find me an insight about a particular person. Even the way in which we segment groups, right? We used to do it demographically by age, and gender, and income, and geographic location, and that's less and less of a good proxy for how people think and behave. But AI can see you in different groups. They can see you as a sneakerhead. They can see you as a video gamer. They can see you as a fashionista. They can see you as a lover of a certain kind of music. And in each of those instances, it can actually show you the group that you're connected to. So one-on-one and group. So insights and research, content development, the distribution of content and optimization of that, the measurement and impact of marketing, all that's going to change because of AI. But I think there's always going to be a human in the loop, but it's changing rapidly. And by the way, it's here right now.
And, Frank, what are some of the consumer trends that are shaping the future of commerce?
So look, I think the biggest consumer trend is something that I talked about earlier this morning, and that is the increasing use of AI in terms of purchasing decisions and actions. And a lot of people think that, oh, this is around the corner. I should let me watch a few more sci-fi movies, get inspired, and then maybe 2, 3 years from now, I can think about it. But it's right here, right now. It's in the algorithm of every social media platform that's successful today. AI is at work right there. It's guiding people right now, whether they know it or not. And so I think the biggest trend is to be the kind of the increasing awareness of how to have this co-intelligence where human beings and AI agents start to work together. And I think as you start to see more AI-driven agents become more autonomous in making purchase decisions, that's going to change everything. It's going to change what we buy, how we buy, and who buys for us. And so for some that sounds exciting. For some that sounds like a dystopian future. It's coming, and my hope is that more of us become less kind of passive recipients of that future and become more active participants in shaping that future.
And finally, Frank, tell me, what's one of the biggest shifts you're seeing in how people think about payments and financial tech today?
You know, um, the biggest shift it's really around money in general. And it's been one of the big surprises for me that I've seen over time. Um, in many cases, people thought about all sorts of things in culture and how it shapes who we are. And they kind of put money and financial services in this other bucket of like pure rationality. And it has that element to it because it is money and it is payments and it's how people get paid. But what people are realizing, and the biggest shift I'm seeing is that culture drives commerce, and how people earn their money, how they spend it, how they invest it, how they give it, is part of a broader cultural context. And that awareness changes everything. And so one of the things that we're doing is, yes, we look at the category lens of payments, and we understand that very deeply. We understand the ecosystem, the economics of it, but there's also a cultural lens, how people want to interact with themselves, their problems and dreams, their aspirations and fears. That also affects what happens in the category of payments. And for the first time, you're starting to see those conversations started in kind of subreddit threads, and now it's in mainstream conversation, and it's top of mind, particularly as you get down to Gen Z consumers.
All right, well, Frank, it's been fantastic to have you here at the Speaker's Corner. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.